Okay, okay, everyone. Something I forgot to tell you. You need your D6, but you also need something to take notes or write. So it can be on a phone, can be a pen with paper. So don't run around. I'm sure Jose Luis and Veronica will find a way to provide papers. Just go to the printer and find pens. It can be on your cell phone also. We want to take notes, okay?
We can use that. You guys can use that.
Did you do this one ever? No. Okay. So once you can write, you write on a column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to calculate the number of ones that come out, the number of twos that come out, the number of threes. So you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when your partner rolls a dice, you make a little bar. You know, you count by doing little bars on how many times each results from 1 to 6 come out. So it gives a chance to people at home also to organize it. Bring them on camera. Yes, I get it. I get it. All right, so you have your D6. You're ready to write from 1 to 6 on a sheet of paper.
Is it, are we going to count it individually or are we getting the
I'm going to just explain everything again right now, okay? Okay, everyone? I know you love to talk to each other because you feel like you're in a party with friends, but for the exercise to work, we need to concentrate on the exercise. Especially the more in a party mode you are, the less it works. Because you get excited in your head, okay? So, the first objective is just naturally, without influencing the world, see how many ones come out, how many 2 come out, how many 3 come out, up to 6, okay? So on your sheet or your phone, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and every time your partner rolls, okay, one person is rolling, the other's taking notes, okay? So only one person rolls the dice, and the other takes notes, okay? So when your partner rolls a 2, make a little bar in front of 2. When he rolls a 3, a little bar in front of 3. So at the end of the exercise, after 1 minute, 2 minutes of rolling, and don't go fast. Roll, give the time to her, roll again. Now don't go slow. This is not a mystical clairvoyance, table will float, ghosts will come. This is not that. So don't go, wow. No, okay? You roll, they take note. You're good every 5 seconds, one should come out, okay? So one rolls, one takes note, and the third just looks at it and laughs stupidly. Okay? And start rolling. With no influence, no mind, just go, take note. And people at home, you do this also for about 2 minutes. I'll tell you when to stop. Only one person rolls, only one person takes notes. So the same person rolls all the time. The same person rolls, the same person takes notes. The third person just looks. Playing the game, it takes a bit of time. Yeah, it's a lot of 2s, right?
Yeah, too many 2s. Too many 2s.
All right, I know you guys are getting a lot of 2s. Keep going. For you, it's 1s? Doesn't matter, just keep going. 4, yeah. If you roll it long enough, you'll get an average. But let's keep going. Nikki, you're not supposed to do the technique of 6 right away. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's like we're gonna do 6 afterward. All right, we're good. That's where it stops. You count each. Make it a little sum at the end of each, so I can ask you questions. I forgot how to say it in English, but that's like the monitor, the standard sound. I forgot how to say it.
Promedio.
Huh?
Promedio.
The average?
Average.
That's not what I mean. Okay, this is the one we do without supernatural influence. We just roll dice to see the randomness. Huh?
Yeah, the
Control group, okay? To see it's random. So, who got a lot of ones way more than others? None. Okay, you. Who got way more 2s? Another gang. Who got way more 3s? Another gang. 4s? No one has many 4s. 5? And 6s. Okay, so you see, everyone has a difference. That dice came out more. Okay? So, it's purely random, but you were not focusing on anything specific. So, the person who was rolling, they had that kind of influence. So basically the prakti, or the base natural influence, with their feelings, emotion, whatever, influenced the dice. Well, right now we're not scientific at all, because it could have just been random. We can't prove that your state of mind has affected that dice right now, because, I mean, it's random, right? And everyone has a difference. Now we're going to do something else. You prepare another column, another sheet of paper, like turn it around. You're going to need another sheet of paper soon. Yeah? Because I don't want you to write smaller to save space. Just go and take the space you need. Okay. So now we're gonna try an attitude.
Oh, okay.
All right. You got your new one, 1 to 6. Dice goes to someone else. Someone else writes. So we want another dice roller. Okay. So now here's what you're going to do. I want you to have fun. I want you to play having the most 6s possible and get excited about it. Yeah, 6. All right. Let's roll some 6s. Go. Playing a game, it's funny. Don't manifest, just play. My advanced students are having too much results. It's going to screw up my class. You're going to win a lot of money. You're going to win a lot of money. Come on. Casino time.
Oh, got it. What were you thinking then?
I had a question about the 4 and the 5.
Oh, that's
All right, we're good. Make your sums. Okay.
No, his one.
You good?
Yes.
Who had more 6s than any other? Who had way more? None. Oh, you guys had more 6. Okay. Who had more 5?
¿Cuántos 6 eran?
Who had more 4? 3? 2. So a lot of you, I mean, it's random. We had like one dude with 6s. They had the same as 6 and 1s. So it's, okay? Proof of concept. Getting excited and wishing for money, being greedy and wanting to play doesn't work. Okay? Good. That's the point. You are not manifesting. You're in the ego having fun, which is fine. But it doesn't give you access to reality. It doesn't modulate. Okay? How do you modulate reality? Breathe. Inhabit. Feel and observe. Switch the dice to the next person, and the next person takes the notes. Prepare your new sheet. No party time. No excitement. No greed. You're not going to gain anything else out of that. It's just to see the effect you have. Remove any intention of gain. Go for the simple joy of seeing you can affect the world. That is not enough, but it's a start of the attitude. Anything playful will get in the way. Anything hateful will get in the way. Just be incarnate, charged with willpower. You need to get to this point in your mind that you believe 6 is happening. It is a certainty. It is a conviction. This is what you want with the same will that you transmigrated. The same will you put to stretch your finger lengths. Now it's a 6 that is coming. And every time it's not a 6, do not believe the drama. It wasn't a 6. Doesn't matter. Roll again. Let's go for 6s. You know it's an influence. You want more 6s than anything else. Roll and believe. Do it. Present. Garima, you are here. 6. This is a 6.
Also, I went to him.
Sorry. Treasure.
Of course, you have the right to laugh if it's so fucking weird. I understand. Be in the 6. Bring on the 6s. Manifest. Be serious. If your eyes are closed and you're half transcending, you're doing it wrong. Keep your eyes on the table. Be incarnate. You're not transcending. You are certain. You believe in the 6. Push more. Want more. Put all your energy in there. Come on. 6. Manifest. Create. You are in charge of the modulation of the universe. You usually have a second number to come out a lot. Don't matter. 6 it is. Just keep focusing. Trust, believe, live. 6. And stop. Now, okay, there's a reason why I stop you there. Because when you do the manifesting, you're spending some supernatural resource. And then you get to a point that you don't have the manifesting power anymore. Because after 2 minutes, you've spent the amount of will you had. And then you go back into the average. So if we continue from this point, you're just going to become average again. But right now, most of you, per my experience, have more 5 or more 6s. It's up there, and it goes like a pyramid like that. So I want you to calculate who has the most 6. Beep, beep. 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. Come on, lift your hands. Okay, so half of you, not half, but some of you. Who has the most 5? A bunch? 4? You have the most 4. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You have the most 1. Why did Corina lift her hand 3 times? Huh? Because they're equal. Thank you. I asked a question, she gave an answer. That's how it goes. Okay. So, do you see that For a while, the first few rolls, no 6 was coming because there was this hesitation, and then you let go and you went, and 6 started to come, one after the other. Okay, who had that pattern?
What?
All right. No one else? Next question. Next question. Guys, next question. Does it have a pyramid like this? More of the higher results than lower? Good. Or some of you is equal at the top and less ones. I mean, this is what I mean. You got more of the higher results. Okay? So you see, it's an influence towards the 6. It's not a guarantee. Do you see that? Now, for the group in the back who had randoms, I don't know, Lucille usually manifests like crazy. Who was rolling the dice? Oh, it was you. Okay. A little up in there, but that's okay. Anywhere else, I think we understand the process that you have a bit more 6s or a big higher results. Who got the contrary? Or who got completely average? Okay, tell me.
On the second exercise, I got no 6s at all, and I was desiring the 6 with all my heart, but I just got the last one, just 1 6.
Okay, so this happened in Denmark with Sine, who was so against this game that she got the most ones, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and no 6. Because she was so in reaction that she can actually affect the dice that she didn't want to see it. So she manifests the contrary. And then, like, this is too frightening to see you have this kind of influence. Okay? Now you got a bunch of newbies, so maybe it's not super powerful, but what did you get in this trial? Who was rolling?
The last one was Veronica.
Okay.
She got 4 and 6, 7. Like
Yeah, 4 and 6 were high.
But
Yeah.
then the last one was the 2, so that's why we got it.
Okay. And these guys also had a lot of 4s.
Yes.
At the same as 6. So for some reason, 4 were coming out. What we want to show is, look, it's not a guarantee, okay? It's an influence, and on average here, it pulled higher. It affected it. In Chiapas, there were 3 advanced students together, and they got 60% of 6s and 40% for the rest. But there are 3 mages, seminar organizers, the people that have been there for 15, 20 years. Lakshmi Dhyana, who kind of resurrected someone and create matter and does all these funky things, you know. So for her, the supernatural was easy. And then you have the other guys like, hey, playing in a mind casino. You see the effect of casino, it was random anyway. Okay. You get this exercise? You understand it? Okay, now you spent a bit of energy and you see it's an influence. Switch the dice roller, switch the person who takes note. Let's do it again.
Does one of the partners let go of the influence of the number and just allow the one that's rolling the dice?
Both of you go in there. It's a team. Yeah, you take note, but you can vote. You can all influence. All of you focus on the result. Okay? Now remember, you're spending your energy, so we do it for about 2 minutes and then we relax. Okay? And you can do the mumbo jumbo clairvoyant seance. 6, man. Okay? Just go in it and want it. Feel it. Pull it. It's just a start. You're just starting, bro. 1 1 1 1 6 1 1 1 1. I mean, this is beyond average. You have to admit, right? This is a combat. This is the yes, no, I can do it. No, yeah. This is crazy, yeah. All right, stop. Simple as that. Just a little jiff because I felt your energy is getting out. So then, when I feel you're spent, because now the more we go, the more we spend our will, then we go back to just normal nature. Okay, count the results. Now that's interesting because they got 1s and 6s. I mean, 90% of their rolls were 1 and 6s, and they got one of the others. It's pretty. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
That's the. I want the 6. Oh, I'm not sure I want it. So you just full of position, and then you have this force inside.
And if you're going back and forth.
Yeah, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6. Yeah.
Is desire persistence?
Yeah, I did.
No, it's we're human. We're human. We react. We're not sure how it's going to be. So it's to show how our mind affected, because now it doesn't seem random. It seems to follow a state of being. This conflict we have with manifesting, and the higher numbers come out, but then you have all these ones come out also. So pretty cool. Okay, and what about you guys, Miki?
New 6.
Not a single 6. Okay, good. So his resistance was like a 6, a 1, a 6, a 1. Like all of his, except like 3 or 4 of them. For them, not a single 6. Okay. You see, because the first time I was discovering, the next, like, okay. First attempt, control group. Second attempt, party mode, was not the good way to do it. It was just to show you it changes nothing. Third time, it was a discovery. It's new. What are we doing? You start to have the influence. Fourth time, you're informed and you're not too comfortable about it. Now you have the extremes. Can you see that? Cool? It's interesting, eh? It just shows the behavior you have inside, how you are inside. It affects your results. So I was teaching today, the previous class, like, if there's someone you don't really want to see them, are you gonna want to hang out with them? Like, if you don't like your body, is your consciousness gonna reach? So if you don't want to know how powerful you are, or if as a victim you count on your weaknesses to get attention, you can't discover how much power you have. There's something inside you that doesn't want to take responsibility for your capacity to be powerful in influencing your life, because you depend on your weaknesses to get attention, money, love. You know, there's something inside you that is like, I don't want to know that I'm really in charge. I was giving a class of creation of matter where we create new mass that did not exist. Like, this is very advanced, so I really don't talk about it. But Matthew Gonzalez says, I hated it. Like, everyone, wow, it's fucking awesome. Like, we actually create mass. Who did that? Lift your hand. Okay, so we got a few of who've done it. Remember Matthew Gonzalez, and when I said, and what about you? He said, I hate it. I hate it. It just proved that I create everything that's going on in my life. Yeah. He just hated it.
I remember that thing.
Yeah, and he was honestly embracing that's his reaction. So now you've done it with a dice, and we play games, you know. And I don't tell you the tricks. Now I cannot do the tricks because you know them. But every time I teach dice game, one after the other, you realize the exercise portray what you're feeling, but we definitely have a standard behaviors of more 6s, less of the lower, except the 1 because of the reaction. So that's pretty cool. Jose Luis, what are your stats?
Mine, I did the same number of 6s and the same number of 2s and 1s, which was only 3. I didn't draw as many.
Okay, cool. So 6 and then the bottom, the reactive part. It looks random. The more you practice, the more you do these games, the more you realize it's not random. Because once you embrace your power and you accept you're capable of influencing the world and your life, the more you get those 6s, that pyramid of 6s. Cool enough?
Cool.
Get everyone back to their chair. We will give the dice back at the end because we want to do something else. Well, at home, I hope you had a blast. Don't know if it worked or not. You can post it. There's so many, like when you're not in seminar, there's so many things that can affect your state of being. For example, you're at home, so you're not really well seated and serious, like more squished and like that when you're and then the phone rings and you look, and because you're at home, you're not really like if you were in seminar, and that doesn't drive your power as much. But some of you I know, I said, okay, let's do it, let's be serious, and you saw the effect you had. It's always a battle between the influences, but what matters is that the central numbers, 3, 4, basically, get lower and the extremes get higher. And once you get used to it, then you get the pyramid. Like more 6 and 5 and 4, 3, 2. Sometimes more 5. I've seen it last time I taught it in Canada. There were more 5, like for absolutely everyone in the group. So there has to be something there. But the thing is, we've demonstrated it seems to have an effect. And that's what matters. Because the effect we have on the world is extremely flexible. All right, we're good to continue. With the length of the fingers, most people here got a little thing, okay? And you see a small influence, and that's you. And what, for those who didn't get any difference in the length of the finger practice this morning, you have everyone around who say, wow, that's so cool, and everyone got the expected result. And you could look at their fingers and were like, half an inch longer. It was obvious. And then you've seen it, it's a group thing, but people at home sometimes don't have this kind of validation from others in the group. So either everyone on the little TV is schizophrenic, or maybe they really did get these results, but it's not objective. It's not like an experience you can live. In seminar, we got stuff that is, when you're in seminar, there's a presence, an energy, a feeling that is in person that is more intense. But you got it. Because it was just the length of the finger. It was easy. It was just that. Now with the numbers, with the dice, all you saw is the possible influence. It was not similar. The last 2 exercises were not similar to the first 2, which really looked like control groups, just random numbers. And somewhat average, okay? The last 2 were affected. It's an influence we have, okay? Now there were 6 parameters instead of 1. The finger length, 1 parameter. A hand bigger than the other. It's one possible outcome. Either you have it or you don't. With the dice, it's 6. So it's an influence. It's possibilities. And what makes it work, what makes it not work, what comes out, what doesn't come out, depends on the practitioner also, because not everyone has the same access to the physical realm. And the more artist you are, the more hippie you are, the less connected to the physical realm. Okay, so it is what it is. I got my joke talking to me. Now, changing the length of the fingers, one outcome, success or failure. The dice, 6 possibilities. It's less obvious. You see? It's less obvious. It's not precise. It's not a beautiful pyramid. 6 sixes, 5 fives, 4 fours. It's not like that. It's averages. But if you do it repeatedly, of course now we did 2 actual attempts while manifesting, you discover it. So, wow, that's happening. And then shit, what the fuck, that's happening. Okay? And you see those reactions of the ego. And it's so subtle that it's not scientific. Do you understand? It's not tangible. At one point in Denmark, we did that game, and we would roll for, we would count 100 rolls. So we would do it like 10 minutes, like 100 rolls for every, because we had a lot of time. And then it was clear, much more clear, these influence compared to the control groups. And the control groups were pretty average. If you give enough time, the random will come out random. Okay. Now I just wanted to show you, look, you had an influence. And that's that. Take this and project it into your life, the world. How many possibilities? It's not 6 possibilities. It's millions of possible outcomes with so many parameters that your influence will just be waves of possibilities that slowly come your way. Do you understand that? So the more in the field you're affecting, the more possibilities exist, or the more other components, the more other people paying attention, the more conscious beings involved, well, the less influence you have. Because you're delivering your influence in a bigger mass of karmic energy and also of prakti, just at the physical level. So that influence is something to cultivate, and the dice game is a thing that you can do once in a while. Once you've spent your current will, then you spend it. We say, as an analogy, that you have You don't have a container, but like if you had a certain reserve of supernatural resources. And once you do something supernatural, you spend that energy. It's actually your willpower that goes through, from the soul to your mind, your emotions, your willpower, and then the physical world. And that energy is spent. And then you're out. Then you cannot do any miracle thing. You cannot do any influence anymore. So you have to rest, do exercise, eat well, meditate, chill, and after a while it happens again. So for the Christians, if you did a miracle 3 times in your life, you were considered a saint. For the Buddhists, it's about once per year. Because it takes a year to accumulate that amount of supernatural energy to do a life-changing event for someone else. You like the miracle kind of thing. So you can have a very good holistic healer, and it feels good. The Reiki is nice, but the instantaneous, fantastic event like a cancer disappearing overnight, it's rare. It's going to happen once, a very rare while, every few years, The most powerful healers in our tradition, one of them was Tarabejaye. He's about one miracle per year. The kind of thing like I touch you for 10 seconds and it's gone, kind of thing. And then nothing. Because that is spent. That energy is gone. So the more spiritual practice you do and the more personal growth you do, the more you recharge yourself. You recharge your soul or your being of that substance. And this is where comes the 5 basic elements. That's just raw supernatural resource that you fill yourself back with. Om Paritivida Bhumideva, Om Tajus de tu Agnaya, Om Akasha de tu Shivaya, Om Apsada tu Durgaya, Om Vayuda tu Anumantaya. So if these mantras you want to learn about it, then you get yourself a little mala and start to charge this stuff, and that will just replenish you. And then you got resource to use. And it's not going to be miracle-like. It's going to be that influence. And if you want to spend them with the dice and the 6s, then you spend it for that. And it's just to validate. So what we just did with that dice is have you spend your supernatural resource for absolutely no actual benefit in your life. We wasted it on a test. But we used it as a way to validate, this is the kind of influence I have. It's an influence, it's not a guarantee, you see? So you have to stop believing in those miracle kind of, I'm going to be saved by God kind of thing. No. It's not an absolute. You get it? But the first thing we did was the fingers, and then that was obvious. It's just a few millimeters on every side, a few, 16th of an inch. But it was obvious that it was for you. That's cool. Now we're spent, and we're going to do an exercise with water bottles. Right now. So I'm going to teach you how to capitalize on your own life force to do a miracle when you don't have resources. That's unhealthy. Don't do this at home, unless you're at home and you want to do it. Yeah. Actually, the method is that you replenish as you stream. It's not that efficient, but we're going to do the hard water thing. And you still have resource, don't worry. You're still full of it.
So 2 each?
2 bottles each, 2 each. 2 full that you have not yet touched. Everyone needs 2 bottles of water, and some people at home did not know that. I'm sorry, I just decided now to do it. If you can just fill 2 cups of water. Okay, it's easier if you don't have the bottles handy, and they're gonna take another minute to do it, so you can go ahead and do it. Kanagagmi, hola! Because some people will not be there tomorrow because they work, and because of that, I want to teach all the cool stuff tonight. All right, focus on being efficient. Get to your place. Get ready. 1 bottle is the monitor, the control group. So you put it on your left on the ground.
Anybody else need?
One bottle of water, or for those at home that has a cup of water, goes on the left. Be sure not to hit it with your foot. We don't want to make a mess. The control group is the bottle that you receive at the same time from the same caja, the same box, the same batch of water. It's supposed to taste all the same, okay? And it's on the left, and you're not going to affect it. Okay, you're going to forget it. Why the left? Because it's your passive size, and it's where you don't really see it, so you're not going to affect it. Take your experimental group, which is that bottle, open it and taste it. Now we spent our resources and we want to still do some kind of effect and find it cool. We have to relax. Breathe, inhabit, feel, and observe. Just be there. Now you see how I told you, put your will into it, put all your energy. That spent your resource. So now with this bottle, you're going to put it there so you see it. And you're looking at a water, and you're going to do a transmigration. You go into that water. You feel that you're in the water. You're here, observing it. But you also feel that you're there too. And you're going to try to feel the mass of that water, the garima, just the water, okay? But don't put your will into it. Just relax into it. I am in this bottle of water. Patiently let your consciousness reach it. We're not spending energy because we're not doing an alteration. We're just letting ourselves glide into the mass of the water so that consciousness can affect it. And we're not getting excited. Now think about the salt and the minerals. Hey, let's play another game. Think about the flavor of your favorite fruit. There's obviously no sugar in that water, so it's going to be hard to replicate that part. But the other flavors, it depends on the minerals. Let's see what we can do with that. Think about the flavor of your favorite fruit. And that is flavored water. Now, we don't put all our will. We have to know this water, regardless if I believe or not. I just decide to fake it until I make it. It is now that fruit flavored. Without putting will, but by being determined. With certainty, not with effort. I hope you understand what it means. Okay, just be certain. I got this. This is flavored water. Now, obviously, the effect is not so strong because you don't dump all your energy in there, but you're being patient. And you're going to ask for the resources in the universe around you and far from you, the resources in the earth. If you're a hippie and spiritualist, the resources of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma, the resources of Bhumidev. Use your connection with the spiritual world, but go in the mass of the water. Don't transcend in that spiritual world. Use your connection with the spiritual world. Oh, great elementals, Gab, Jin, Paralda, and Nietzsche that I love and respect. These are the elementals of earth, fire, water, and air. Get in this beautiful water and give it the flavor I prefer. And thank you so much for participating with me. Just use the energy of the rest of the people who still have some energy. And ask if they want. Like, please, do this with me. Don't ask an archangel. An archangel is not connected to the world. Ask elementals, ask God purely, Mother Earth, whatever is your your gig. All right? You can ask just the universe and nature if you're an atheist and a scientist. Yeah, universe, nature, just bring this flavor, okay? And you let it work slowly but surely. Certainty is your key. Keep doing it, but I'm going to explain something. The kind of effect you have on that water, let's say the more zinc you have in your body, the more you're going to have an effect on the zinc in the water. Okay, the more magnesium you have, then this is what you're gonna affect. So the kind of minerals you have in your body is the kind of minerals you're gonna affect in that bottle of water. So because you already have the same kind of chemistry in your body, when you taste your water, it's not gonna taste a lot. But when your partner next to you tastes your water, they're gonna see a big difference with theirs. Okay, that's why we do it 2-2. Your partner or your friend will taste your water only if no sickness can be transmitted in the process. Okay, so we want to be health conscious about that. Taste your bottle. Taste it and see if there's a flavor. It's very mild. So you still got the mineral water, but you got this little thing. Okay. Now we're going to go with willpower. Just a bit. Transmigrate in the water. Want it. And now you're going to declare, this water tastes like that fruit. Go. Say it. Say your fruit. Go. This water tastes like fruit. And say your fruit. Don't say fruit. Say your own. Plátano, manzana, whatever. All right. Don't drink it. We're manifesting. This water tastes like that. Come on. Feed it. Just a little willpower. Just a little bit. And enough. That's it. Okay? Just so for some consciousness to go in there. All right. The Hindu, the sadhus here say Om Tat Sat. Okay? The Christians and the Hebrew, Amen. Okay? I declare it. So be it. I do it. Amen. Good. Now just get a little push, but don't spend too much. Just a little push. And now there's a turbulence. You already started maybe to taste the difference at the first taste, but very mild because, unsure, does it really work? Doesn't matter. It was just for your brain to say, oh shit, I don't want to believe it, but it has a flavor different than the first taste. Okay? So we're checking this out. Taste it. Now, if you're healthy, and if you're not healthy, don't be ashamed. Just be honest and say, I'm not sharing about it. Have someone else taste yours. And then immediately recuperate yours. Okay? They have a taste and give it back. Come here. Get the tap off. Don't say what fruit it was supposed to be. Okay, after you've tasted, say what is the fruit you focus on. Now you say to your neighbor. Certainly it was strawberry. Apple.
I can't taste it.
You can't taste it?
I can't taste it. I can taste it warm. And this
It tastes warm.
I can't taste it.
Okay. All right. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Now, of course, everyone is watching. If you're alone, you cannot validate with someone, but now they're all smiling. Oh my God, yeah. Okay. It's fun. But you change water and coffee, so this is plaything. All right, guys. All right. Cool. Next step. We're going to proceed. Okay, it's fun. There's always this part where maybe it's psychological because everyone is saying, everyone's saying it. So maybe we're like on a big acid trip and we're convincing ourselves of something. Okay, I understand. I get it. I know it. Now we're going to make this water hard. We're going to alter the chemistry of the water. Focus on it. The minerals make more. Multiply the atoms of salt and all the metals in there. You go into the feeling that you visualize salt particles, metal particles, iron, magnesium, zinc, and all the other ones I can't name because I don't know them. They multiply. Some of the water atoms change in those metals. It just keeps, it's more and more metallic. Go in there, you'll already start to taste it in your mouth just doing it. Go in the bottle, make it metallic and salty, metallic and salty. This is so metallic and salty. Metallic and salty. Metallic and salty. Feel it. It is so metallic and salty. Yeah, it's right there. I can see it. I can feel it on the eternal plane. It's just getting ready. Come on. Want it a bit more. This water's so salty, so heavy, so metallic. Just multiply every element in the water. Just multiply them. Make more. Just want more. And be certain. While your nervous system and your mind says, what the hell is that? For a moment, discredit your own opinion and your own mind. Be certain of the density of these metals. Garim. So heavy, so dense. Garim. So many. Manipulating, changing, modulating. Manajava. All of this is altering nature. Rasavada. Alchemy, transmutation, more salt, more metal. Amen. Amen. All right. Let's give it a second. Give it a second. Because when you cultivate a potential, now it's affecting it even more. Like now it's still working. Because you build your energy of what you want, and now it sinks into the physical world and affects it. So it takes a bit of time. I mean, it's already done, but we want our taste to be as shocking as possible. Now. And you got it. Heavy water. Cool. That bottles go to the floor on your right. Take your monitor bottle on your left. Taste the difference with your control group. Obvious fresh water. Taste your altered water. It stays in the back of the throat, the copper and all of that. Ugh. It's the copper taste right in the back, right there. Monitor group again. Okay, don't get confused in your bottles. But if your partner in crime can taste your own hard water, just a taste. Okay? And don't mix your bottles. Be sure not to mess up which is which. All right. Cool. All right. Welcome to the wonderful world of alchemy, a transmutation of water into other substances, transmutation of matter. So push it to the limit and you change water into wine. I've never done it. I've done some crazy shit, but this is like your 5-minute intro and you got these results. Give yourself a decade. And I think Karonapsa is the one who's done the funkiest thing here. She turned cold water into hot coffee. Warm. Not hot, warm. Good enough. Good enough. Better than my thing. Shit. But yeah, it's cool, right? I think it was Corey who changed water into wine. Corey and Rajagata. And I keep telling, don't do that. The Christians will hate you. You'll have people with pikes. Just do orange juice. Do something else, But yeah, so first, we can't prove that someone can change water into wine. We can't, because no one has done it here. What we can prove is we seem to have given a flavor to the water first, and then made it heavy, because that's the easiest thing, just to take minerals that are already there and just multiply them. Okay? Remember in the story of Jesus, he didn't ask jars of water to be brought. He says, put water in the jars where there was wine. So there are traces of wine in there. And he multiplies that. And he uses the mind of everyone at the party. When they look at the jar, they are also convinced it's wine in there. He uses the collective mind. And that switches. Because one human doesn't necessarily have enough resource to do a full physical transmutation. But you use the mind of 50 people high on a party, having fun, emotional about it, more wine. Their willpower is all out. Do you understand? That's the art of a mage, to use those influences and get a large crew of people to just manifest that with you. And you as a mage are directing the consciousness. This is now wine. Bam. That's cool, huh? Yeah. But now we did an exercise of you with no prior introduction. A lot of newbies here. This is the effect you have on the world. And it's always the same thing. You have to go into a state of certainty and be non-judgmental. So before you do your influence, you've worked on yourself as a human. Your expectations, your control, wanting to be right all the time, your arrogance, and all of these things. Cool, eh?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shivagam turned the water to wine first.
Oh yeah, Shivagam had done that.
Yeah, he taught me first.
Like opaque, yellowish lemon juice.
Yeah, the first time he just turned the color, but not the taste.
And it tastes like, yeah, he told me that. He was so much focusing on what it looks like
Yes.
that he turned his lemonade. It was clearly lemonade, and it had zero flavor.
And then he did it again.
And then he did it again with the flavor.
So I learned from him.
Oh, you learned from him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's intense, Shivagam.
Yeah, he did that, and then I did the coffee.
Yeah, this guy said, okay, I'm going to practice and practice and practice until I do it. And I say, I'm going to play video games until you succeed in whatever you try. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. No, I mean, I've been reciting mantras and doing supernatural stuff so much in my life that at one point it's like, yeah, whatever. Because, if the master has power, it's useless. It's just a proud person being so like, now you love me, I'm divine, I'm God because I've got supernatural abilities. Yeah, love me. It's useless. What is useful is if the student realizes his own potential to accomplish himself. That's a useful master. I really do prefer video games and buying lemonade if it's what I want. That's like saves resource, saves time. You know what I mean? So we do these exercises, like when we do creation of matter, we do almost nothing. It's grains of sand. Except in Alicante, they start to make little stones of colors, little semi-precious gems and stuff. That was the only time. And Karonapsa usually drops like tons of stuff that we can't figure out, throws pebbles on the ground. But most people, it's just tiny grains of sand, okay? But we create matter that did not exist. Why? It's to prove to you through an experience that part of you is the creator. It's to connect with God, basically, but through a physically validated experience. We show the effect you have on nature to show you're part of Vishnu and Shiva. You're part of that, but you're also human, and you got to pay your bills and manage your heartbreak. You get that? But then, if you want to have some sand, go buy a pouch at the heartbreak store. It's an enormous amount of time to manifest. Sri Kaleshwar, it was a specialty. It's from him that I learned creation of matter in this lifetime. And he would just go and just throw water in your bowl and, he would naturally have a fruit in his hand or dirt, whatever. Just look at you and throw a stone and he just manifests it. It's just right there. But that's the thing he did. Some of his students got to some degree of efficiency, but most was just like in awe and, but it's him. So he showed, that everything is an illusion that you interpret in your mind. So if you have more consciousness of Brahma in you than what Brahma put in nature first, you will alter nature. For example, this scarf is now blue. He had a red scarf and he just took it and then it was blue. That's it. This, because I know this scarf to be blue, and that's the end of it. So this kind of thing, like super intense on changing the nature of matter. And that was a skill. The most uneducated, I would sometimes say idiot master I've ever met. Zero school. His teachings made no Cartesian sense, like didn't know how to write well. I mean, it's really like a guy who spent his life just doing that. No school. His entire life as like in the street and just living until he got so much power out of it. And that's wonderful, because a guy that didn't study science was not stuck with all the belief we have that this is atoms made like this, and because we go to school, we fill our head with those stuff, and then we're stuck in those rules we've made. And actually, all this beautiful science we study really do explain the physical world in the mechanical sense. It does work. It is beautiful. I studied a lot. But when you go into a manifesting state, you have to discredit everything your human thinks about the current state of things and focus on what you really want and manifest. And then be humble enough to accept that was an influence. Let's see if it happens. Okay? And the more greed you have, the less manifesting you do. It is what it is. That's cool, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of people in the past, not now. I would say 10, 20 years ago, people writing emails like super angry. You're teaching the world all the secrets that we're supposed to keep in temples and all this apparent magic stuff. They practice it in temples, and some like elite disciple, elite priests of the sadhu path, I mean, they do stuff that is extraordinary. And like they're not happy because I just go in a hotel room or some random holistic center in the US and I just teach to whoever walks in, like on the second day. Sakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha, his name was Sakyamuni. Everyone calls him the Buddha, but I call him Sakyamuni because there's many Buddhas. There's not just one, but anyway, it's not like Jesus is the only Christ. The Buddhas is like, if you get there, you get there. So Sakyamuni, my master in Buddhism, he expressed in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, okay, so one of those big teachings, I teach the exoteric and the esoteric alike. That means the stuff that is supposed to be secret, teach it to whoever wants. Because how arrogant is the teacher who keeps from himself a wisdom that the student needs to get a better life and alleviate his suffering. How arrogant it is to make it like because Sakyamuni was in the Hindu time. He was not Buddhist, he was a Hindu. Okay? It wasn't like Jesus was not Christian, he was Jewish. You understand that mechanics, right? So he was in a world where people keep secrets because they're kind of the elites. They got power. The others, no, you can't trust them with this kind of power. Come on. No one's going to hurt anyone with that. If someone wants to hurt you, they're going to use a knife, or whatever, No one's going to do black magic with this stuff. Whoever tried to do transmigration to control someone else's body, they just got mental sickness. They start to have nightmares. They become haunted themselves. Their negativity and their ego just self-destroys inside. Because they're bad people. I mean, they're evil people. If the black mages were so efficient, there would be black mages in every corner. Do you understand what I mean? But Maha, someone cast me a curse. I look at the guy, you sure it's a curse? Yeah, someone hates me because of this, that. How about it's because you're an asshole? And people really do hate you because, you make people hate you. For real. Do you understand? Like, what about your behavior? Who's the black mage who cast that curse on you? Maybe it's you. Hey. 2 points for effort. So you see, I understand the occult and magic because what I do is I took what is naturally occurring. What you just did is what in psychology we call psychosomatic. What you have in your mind has an effect on your body. But in the psychosomatic, we discovered that we have in our mind also has an effect on our car and our computer. Some people, their car just end up always breaking. They rust faster. The computer always crashes. And other people, everything's fine. Do you understand? I mean, there's a normal usage of cars, but like your psychosomatism, when you're angry, you're currently burning more fuel per mile than when you're happy. That's how it is. Your psychosomatic state of being affects your immediate environment. You already have an effect on the world with what you have in mind. So I just studied that and said, let's push it to the point that you change the result of the dice, the taste of water. You put yourself in a state of mind and you push it. But it's all stuff that we already live in nature. Like the intuition and the transmigration. When people look at you and I feel observed, who's watching? Oh shit, someone's watching me. You realize it after. All this stuff about intuition. I just took what is naturally occurring, but such a subtle way that you can't really validate it. Now let's train it. Let's practice it. And it's not Star Wars and Harry Potter. It's not miracle light. Well, sometimes it looks like it, but coincidentally, maybe someone did not need that much change to heal. Do you understand? Some cancers are permanent, and some of them, yeah, it could have happened. I mean, there's people who heal cancer just by healing cancer without the magic around it. Do you understand? So a holy person or just a very deep spiritual person comes and gives a push, and it was just what it was needed to tilt. Because it's not guaranteed. So we know it's an influence. Or else you'd have a line of cancer people in front of us saying, just go touch, heal, touch, heal. Yeah. It's extremely rare because of the amount of resource it takes to produce the change. And the little amount of practice we do to replenish our supernatural states. Because most people don't really feel like charging mantra anymore. You know, like I've not charged a mantra for a long time, but I sit and practice. For a long time, I said, hey, like, you think you charge mantras? Been doing it for 20 years. Like, I charge a lot of mantras. But lately, I look at the freaks of Mahariya. I think a few of them have done more mantra than me in my life. It's pretty cool. I've now that it's been, a few decades, I see people do more practice than I have done. Usually for me, my practice is a state of being. I am in that state. That's my practice. So does it count as practice? I don't know. Yeah, it does. But it's not the mantra. It's not popping beads. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Personal growth, spiritual practice. That's what I teach. That's what we do in the Mahariya. Because it gets you to feel better. And we validate through observable phenomena. Because losing our mind in fantasy would be the worst thing for us. There's no accomplishment, there's no enlightenment in fairy tales. You get that? I like to take the example, you still have to pay your bills and manage your heartbreak. Because it's something that really, it really is the core of our experience as humans. It's to provide for ourselves and manage relationships. It's really what we're here to do. This is what we really want to do. We don't want to create matter or change water into wine. We want to be millionaires. No, we want to be happy. You dig, right? You understand. That was cool, right? nice little day at the temple. Yeah. So the next 2 days will be more personal growth. We did the funky stuff today. That was the supernatural stuff because I'm not going to see some of you I won't see tomorrow and Tuesday. So I wanted to get a few cool things coming in just to introduce you in. You have the power to change your life, but something inside you doesn't want to. Yeah. Yeah, because everyone will say, you can change your life. Yeah, but why didn't you? There's something inside you got to deal with, to heal, to check, the pride, the judgment, all of that. So, yeah, that was pretty fun. Nice class. That was cool. Chill, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow. Au revoir.